Hello friends, I welcome you all for this session of heat transfer. In the previous session, we discussed about the two methods of analysis of a given heat exchanger, where I could tell you the first method called as LMTD method of analysis. So in that session, we could derive an expression for the LMTD of a given heat exchanger. Typically, we discussed two different types of heat exchangers, like parallel flow heat exchanger and counter flow heat exchanger, where we derived an expression for LMTD of that two heat exchangers. If you remember, LMTD of any parallel flow or a counter flow heat exchanger, it is derived as delta T1 minus delta T2 divided by ln of delta T1 divided by delta T2. Please note, we could derive this equation in the previous session. It can also be written as delta T2 minus delta T1 divided by ln of delta T1 by delta T2 by delta T1. Other way is also possible. Okay, so this is an equation for LMTD which holds good for both parallel as well as counter flow heat exchangers. I told you at the end of the session that the change what we find here in this is the expressions for delta T1 and delta T2. Okay, so for parallel flow heat exchangers, the delta T1 from the temperature profile diagram, it is given by Thi minus Tci, whereas delta T2 was given as Tho minus Tco. So these were the expressions we wrote for parallel flow heat exchanger. Similarly, counter flow heat exchanger, though this LMTD expression remains same, but the delta T1 and delta T2 expressions will change. Hence, for counter flow heat exchanger, the delta T1 is given by Thi minus Tco, whereas delta T2 is given by Tho minus Tci. You can just have a look at these two parameters. So for counter flow, expressions are given like this, and for parallel flow, the expressions are given like this. Note that there is a change in the expressions for delta T1 and delta T2. So because of this change, for LMTD, counter flow heat exchanger, the LMTD will be more than that of the parallel flow heat exchanger. So this was the conclusion that we arrived at in the previous session. Now, with all this as a background, today I will solve a couple of numericals related to this LMTD method of analysis. So I am going to solve a numerical on this LMTD method for these two types of heat exchangers, counter flow and the parallel flow arrangement of heat exchangers. I told you that we are going to restrict our analysis, particularly on the double pipe heat exchangers. Okay, so I am going to solve an example on a double pipe parallel flow heat exchanger and a double pipe counter flow heat exchangers. Okay. Now along with this, once you calculate LMTD, we could finally wrote an expression for the total rate of heat transfer Q, which was given by U into A into LMTD or delta Tm. So this is our main expression for Q. So where Q is the rate of heat transfer between the hot as well as hot and the cold fluids. And this U stands for the overall heat transfer coefficient in the heat exchanger. Then this A stands for the area of the heat exchanger, the area required with which the two fluids can exchange the heat energy. Okay. Then LMTD, as you are already familiar, it is the logarithmic mean temperature difference between the two fluids which are flowing in the heat exchanger. So these are the fundamental relations we can remember to solve the given numerical. So your problem will revolve around these expressions. So few terms will be given in this and the other remaining terms will be asked in the problem. So I will solve you such couple of problems with which you will become very familiar in understanding this method of analysis. Okay, now let us begin with the first numerical, that is on double pipe counterflow heat exchanger. So the type of heat exchanger we are going to consider now is a double pipe, which is also called as a concentric pipe, and the flow arrangement is counterflow. So a double pipe counterflow heat exchanger is the type of heat exchanger which is given in our numerical. So there are two pipes, one inside the other, and the flow inside this kind of heat exchanger for the two fluids is in the opposite direction. Hence, it is a counterflow heat exchanger. Okay, so there is a double pipe heat exchanger. Okay, where he has given us some information related to the two fluids. As we already know, in a given heat exchanger, okay, there will be two fluids flowing. The first one, let us say it is hot fluid. Okay, and the second fluid, we call it as a cold fluid. Okay, we shall write the given data. So here the hot fluid given in this problem is oil, and the cold fluid that is given in the problem is water. Okay, so there are two fluids, one is oil and the other one is water, which are going to exchange the energy in this double pipe counterflow heat exchanger. Okay, now with this, let us write what are the data given with respect to hot and cold fluid. Now he says the mass flow rate of the oil is, now since it is a hot fluid, we are familiar with the notations, so I'll write the mass flow rate of the hot fluid, that is oil, is m dot h. He has given it as 10,000 kg per hour. Okay, so since it is given in kg per hour, you can divide it by 3600 so that you will get the parameter in terms of kg per second. So when you divide it, you are going to get it as 2.77 kg per second. So we shall always express the unit for m dot with respect to kg per second for our calculations. Okay, now flow rate of hot fluid is given. Next, he will also give you the specific heat of the oil, CPH. He has given it as 2095 joules per kg Kelvin. Okay, Cp of oil is given as 2095 joules per kg Kelvin. Fine. Now m dot h, Cph are given. Then thereafter he says the oil temperature, since it is a hot fluid, so the temperatures of the hot oil, let us say Thi and Th naught. So Thi is the hot oil temperature at the inlet. He has given it as he is given it as 80 degrees Celsius. So this oil at 80 degrees Celsius is going to be cooled from 80 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius. So Thi is 80, Tho is 50 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now in order to cool the oil from 80 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius, we are going to make use of a cold fluid called as water. So water on the annulus, it will flow with some mass flow rate. We call it as m dot c. So the flow rate of water given here in this problem is 8000 kg per hour. So again it is in kg per hour. So divide it by 3600 seconds so that you will get the answer in terms of kg per second. So it comes out to be 2.22 kg per second. So the mass flow rate of water is given. Now along with that, he has also given you the specific heat of water. It is given as 4180 joules per kg Kelvin. In some of the numericals, this value will not be given, so you need to remember this as a standard value. It is 4.180 or 4180 joules per kg Kelvin. Okay. Now along with this data, he has also given you what is the temperature of the water when it enters the heat exchanger. So he says the water is entering at a temperature of TCI. I'll write it here. So TCI, he has given it as 25 degrees Celsius. So TCI, he has given it as 25 degrees Celsius. Okay. Now along with this, he has also given us one more term called as U. So U stands for the overall heat transfer coefficient, which is given as 300 watt per meter square Kelvin. So U is also given. Okay. Now with all this data, we are supposed to find out, we need to find what is the area required. What is the area required for this to achieve using counterflow heat exchanger? So I mean to say, we need to find what is A. A is how much? So area needs to be calculated. Okay. Now with all the given data, now we shall proceed with the solution for the given problem. So before I proceed with the calculations, okay, let us first draw the corresponding temperature profile diagram for the given heat exchanger. So since it is a counterflow heat exchanger, okay, the temperature profile diagram can be drawn like this. So this is THI, this is THO. So this is the temperature diagram for hot fluid, that is oil. Okay. So temperature keeps on decreasing along the length of the heat exchanger. Okay. On the other way, since it is a counterflow heat exchanger, the cold fluid, here in this problem it is water. Okay. So water will move in the opposite direction. So while entering, the temperature is TCI, and while it leaves, the temperature is TCO. Okay. So this is a standard temperature profile diagram we can draw for counterflow type of heat exchanger. Fine. Now the difference between the temperatures at the inlet is what is our delta T1, and the difference between the temperatures at the outlet is what is our delta T2. So this should be always remembered, and this diagram is always mandatory to be drawn so as to understand and solve the problem correctly. Fine. Okay. Now with this as a background, let us proceed with the solution. So we know that the total rate of heat transfer, okay, so the total rate of heat transfer in the heat exchanger Q between the two fluids is given by, we know that it is given by Q is equal to U into A into LMTD. Correct? This is a standard relation which we have discussed earlier. Q is equal to UA LMTD. Now here you can see that there is a term called as area, which is what is asked in the problem. Now, so to calculate area, so I can rewrite it like this. We want to calculate area. So area is equal to, bring the other terms on this side. So Q divided by U into LMTD. So area is given by Q divided by U into LMTD. Now see this expression, we know the value of U, which is already given in the problem. Okay. Now to calculate area, we should first calculate Q, and we should also calculate LMTD. Correct? Let us see how we can calculate Q and LMTD. Okay. Now we also know that Q is nothing but, it is the amount of heat lost by the hot fluid, which is given by m dot H Cph into Thi minus Th naught, which is also equal to the heat gained by the cold water, which is given by m dot C Cpc TCO minus TCI. This is a standard energy balance equation. Say it as equation 2. So note that I have written Q here because they all are equal expressions. Okay. Now look for this expression. I want Q value. So check whether which expression we can use so that Q can be obtained. You look for the hot fluid, oil, M dot H, CPH, THI and THO. All of these terms have been already given in the data, so that you can very easily calculate Q. So I mean to tell, you use this expression for Q and calculate Q. Okay. So let me tell you the units. So this M dot H is having a unit kg per second, that multiplied by CPH is having a unit joules per kg, Kelvin or degree Celsius you can consider, and THI minus THO, they are temperatures. Either they can be expressed in degree Celsius or Kelvin, that doesn't matter. Okay, let me write Kelvin. You can keep it degree Celsius also, the values. So if you do that, Kelvin or degree Celsius get cancels, this kg get cancels. You are going to get the answer as joules per second, which is a watt. Okay, so once you substitute all these values, you will see that the value of Q comes out to be 174,583 joules per second. So as I already told you, joules per second is nothing but watt. So this is nothing but 174.583 kilowatts. That is the value of Q that we are going to get. Okay. Now once the value of Q is obtained, I will now again consider the second expression what I have written earlier. Now I will take the value of Q, which is equal to the heat gained by the cold fluid. Okay, so you can use these two expressions now and you can very easily calculate what is the outlet temperature of water, because that is not given in the problem. Okay, if you remember, in the data given, the three temperatures are given for the two fluids. THI, THO, TCI are given. So TCO is not given. So in order to calculate that, now I am considering the other expression. I'll write it again. So Q is given by M dot C, CPC, TCO minus TCI. If you write this expression, it represents the amount of heat gained by the cold water, which was earlier lost by the oil. Okay. Now Q value is already known to you. It is 174,583 watts. Okay. Or 174.583 kilowatts. That should be equal to M dot C is, it is already given it as 2.2 kg per second. Then 4180 is the Cp of water. Then we want TCO. So TCO is unknown. So I'll write it as it is. Minus TCI is given as 25 degrees Celsius. So in this expression, only unknown is TCO, which you can solve, and it comes out to be around 43.79 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this way we shall calculate the other temperature. Now you see that once TCO is obtained, all four temperatures will be known to us. So once all temperatures are known, it is very easy to calculate the LMTD for a given heat exchanger using these four temperatures. Therefore, we shall next calculate what is the LMTD of a given counter flow heat exchanger. Okay, so which is given by the standard formula delta T1 minus delta T2 divided by ln of delta T1 divided by delta T2. This is a standard relation we have derived. So where, what is delta T1 for this heat exchanger? I told delta T1 here is THI minus TCO, and delta T2 is THO minus TCI. So since all terms temperatures are known to you, you can substitute. THI is Okay, THI is 80 degrees Celsius and TCO is obtained as 43.79. Okay, you can calculate that. THO is 50 degrees Celsius and TCI is 25 degrees Celsius. So delta T2 is 25 and delta T1 is, so delta T1 will comes out to be 36.21 degrees Celsius. So delta T1 and delta T2 are obtained. Substitute these two values in the above expression for LMTD and you can get the value of LMTD. So it comes out to be LMTD for counterflow, it comes out to be around 29.595 degrees Celsius. This is the value of LMTD we get. Now let us recollect back what all things we have calculated. So we calculated the value of LMTD and we have calculated the value of Q. Correct? So Q is known, LMTD is known, and the overall heat transfer coefficient is also given in the problem. So with all this problem, with all these calculated values, finally using the standard equation 1, we can calculate the area required by this heat exchanger. Thus, from equation 1, we know that Q is UA LMTD. Therefore, area A is thus, therefore it is Q divided by U into LMTD. Okay, so just substitute the values of all the parameters. So Q is 174,583 watts divided by, what is the value of U? U is given as 300 watt per meter square Kelvin multiplied by LMTD is obtained as 29.59 degree Kelvin or degree Celsius. So this Kelvin degree Celsius cancels and watt will get cancelled and this meter square will move up. So that is the unit of area. So if you simplify, if you calculate the values, the answer will be in terms of meter square. Okay, so after simplification you will see that the area will be having a unit of meter square. Okay, so once you do the calculation, you will come to know that the area required for this heat exchanger is 19.66 meter square, which is the final answer which is supposed to be calculated. I hope this problem on counterflow heat exchanger is clear.